Let me introduce Reed, and it's a coincidence, believe it or not, that the first two guys are named McIntyre, the second two guys are named Peterson. But it's kind of a weird thing. So let me talk to you about Reed. He's the global head of strategic engagement and overall head of North America for GSMA. In case you don't know who GSMA is, they're far and away the largest industry organization. They're in 200 countries. They have 800 of the world's mobile operators and more than 200 companies in their broader mobile ecosystem. We all know them because they do the best conference about mobile in Barcelona, and we all want to go to Barcelona and eat tapas and drink sangria, which is why I want to be part of GSMA. Just saying, guys. But it's really powerful, and if you think about the power of having an organization of the scope and scale of GSMA connected with the wireless forum, it provides not only an opportunity that's unique to Atlanta, but I think an opportunity unique to the United States. And you're here you're witnessing the birth of this organization. I think it's a big deal. Before Reed got to GSMA, he spent 10 years in management consulting. He has an undergrad from BYU, and he has an MBA from Duke, so he's a lousy picker of basketball teams, but other than that, so with that, let me introduce you. Welcome, Reed Peterson.
First of all, thank you for inviting me. We as the GSMA are glad to be here. Let me first start out by saying we're very excited about this opportunity to partner with Wireless Technology Forum. We feel very strongly about expanding the GSMA's influence into North America and specifically into the Atlanta market. So we've just done a remodel on our office. We actually just moved in a few weeks ago. We're very excited to be here and to be kind of putting down some roots and establishing ourselves a little bit more and benefiting the community and really focusing on North American issues. So as Thad mentioned, GSMA is the Global Trade Association that represents mobile operators. And we're here to talk a little bit about Mobile World Congress, this nice little event that we put on every year in Barcelona. You get the point. We are in an exciting industry. Mobile is a fantastic place to be. And GSMA, we're very fortunate to be at the heart of that industry. We are the Global Trade Association that represents the mobile industry and specifically mobile network operators. We were founded 27 years ago when a group of operators decided that they wanted to come together and provide this cross-border communication system. A global system for mobile, if you will. Anyway, we have a mandate to drive collective action. For us, it's all about interoperability. It's all about roaming. It's all about any collective action that brings operators together to work and play nice in the sandbox for the benefit of consumers, ultimately. So that's who we are. We are led by a board of 24, 25 CXOs. Some of these logos you might recognize. Some of them are here in the room tonight. Some of them are from some faraway places, but we have a fantastic board, and these guys set our agenda. They decide what we do, how we do it, and the direction that we go. So I want to talk a little bit about what you saw in the video. We have 3 key goals that we really work on at the GSMA. So number 1, you saw that goal of connecting everybody. And by the year 2020, we want to connect an additional 1 billion people to the mobile internet. This is really exciting for us because this isn't just about connections. This is about what those connections do and provide for the people who have those connections. This is about productivity. This is about increases in GDP. This is about improving quality of life. And that's something that we take very seriously and are very excited about at the GSMA. The second big goal that we've got is in personalization. So we view the SIM as a key asset for operators, as well as an asset to be able to use for authentication. So we have the goal of establishing the SIM as the digital authentication solution for 2 billion consumers. And that's a very exciting thing as well. Think of a future where you can use your mobile device as your authentication, your digital signature, your digital ID for your driver's license, for your passport. I would love to not have to carry all that stuff around everywhere I go. The last thing that we really want to do is focus on mobilizing everything. Anything that you can possibly imagine that you could put a mobile connection to, we would like to do that, within reason, of course. But there are a lot of different use cases that we see that can really benefit consumers in terms of how you utilize mobile to provide those connections and to provide those different services. So we're very excited about those things. So those are the 3 big goals we've got. We deliver those 3 goals through 3 core activities, through programs, through advocacy, and through convening the industry. And just recently in Barcelona at Mobile World Congress, we focused on these, two of those three areas, but specifically around what we call Vision 2020. And I know Dan's going to talk a little bit more about that later tonight, but let me just focus on a few of those. So the GSMA has 4 core programs that it's focusing on right now. Rafael is going to focus on personal data. Dan is going to focus on connected living. So I'm just going to spend a bit of time talking about mobile commerce, digital commerce, and Network 2020. When you look at these programs, when you look at the digital commerce program, I think many of you know the difficulties that surround the digital commerce ecosystem, all the different players that have to come together. It's not just about mobile network operators deciding that they're going to launch a service, and that service is going to be taken, all across the world. It's SIM manufacturers, it's retailers, it's issuing banks, it's acquiring banks, it's merchants, it's schemes. All of these have to come together to make the mobile commerce ecosystem work. And so we're trying to work very well with these groups to bring together and to catalyze that ecosystem. The next thing we're doing is we're looking at, in the year 2020, what does the network need to look like? What are the different quality of service aspects? What has to happen in terms of scale? We look at this explosive growth in data. What's going to happen, and how do we adjust those networks in order for that to be more effective, to be more efficient in the future? These are the 4 core programs that GSMA works on in terms of our Vision 2020 and our program work. In terms of advocacy, I only picked one. There's a lot of different aspects of advocacy. And we view ourselves as being an advocate for the industry on a number of different topics: digital inclusion, economic inclusion, net neutrality, privacy, security. These are all things that we think are things that the industry needs to advocate and show that we're going to take a leading role in. But I wanted to focus on one area that for me is pretty important and I think pretty special. We have a very large group within the GSMA that is focused on mobile for development. This is a group that focuses on helping those who live on less than $2 a day. I know for some of us that's very, very hard to imagine, but a large part of the world lives like that. And there are opportunities where we can go in and we can develop projects that help these people and help better their lives. Now, it's not enough just to give money in certain geographic regions or in developing markets. It's more about finding projects and programs that are scalable and sustainable, commercially sustainable, so that they can perpetuate themselves and ultimately build these little economic ecosystems through these markets. You see a few of the examples here in terms of some of the projects we're working on. Mobile health is fantastic, mobile money for the unbanked, a lot of work in agriculture, a lot of work in mobile women. You think in a lot of these markets, there's a lot of underprivileged women who don't have access to information, don't have access to the common sources of information that a lot of men have. And mobile network operators are working together to provide those devices to work on giving more opportunity for those women in those markets. And that's something that I think we really like. That also works well when you have a female CEO or director general, so that's another big focus. And finally, we get into what we're going to talk about the rest of the night is our convening the industry. We do that in a lot of different ways, but one of the main ways we do is we run our own events and we partner with others and participate in other events. We try to bring people together to talk about mobile in a way that really kind of drives the ecosystem together. And so we have our Mobile World Congress event. We also have our Mobile Asia Expo event that happens in Shanghai. And then our recently announced GSMA Mobile 360 series. And some of you may be aware that we recently announced that the first North America Mobile 360 will be held in Atlanta, Georgia in September. So we're very, very excited about that. In addition to these, kind of 3 core activities that we do, we also run a few managed services. So Pathfinder, Device Check. I think we've got a few here in the room that are GSMA staff that run those businesses. So please, if you kind of look around, you'll find some of those guys. And then spam reporting as well. We also have a GSMA Intelligence Arm. The GSMA, as you can imagine, working with mobile network operators all over the world, aggregates a significant amount of data across all of these markets, across all the different things that are happening. And so we have an intelligence arm that basically aggregates that data, and you can go to GSMA Intelligence and take a look at some of the data that we've got. It's pretty fantastic, and it really paints the picture of what's happening in the industry and certain trends that are happening in some markets and some developing markets that have already happened in developed markets. And so you can kind of see what's going to happen in certain areas.